What's up, guys? Welcome to season 2 of the Freedom series. We are on episode 4. This episode is about freedom and attention. I invite you to consider something. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about being able to put your attention where you choose, even when your body does not want to. Just think about that. I used to think freedom meant having no boss, no schedule, and nobody telling me what to do. I thought that I would know I was free when I had the experience of like, I can do whatever I want. I thought I would know I was free. And then I realized going through that experience, something uncomfortable. I wasn't actually free. I did not have the experience of actually being free. To the contrary, I felt stuck, trapped, and powerless. And it was because my attention was hijacked. I could sit down to work, and suddenly I was tired, racing thoughts, distracted. I found myself convincing myself that if I do it later, it would somehow be better. And I believed those feelings. This is where perfectionism can become a really effective containment strategy. See, no one teaches us, but our nervous system has its own agenda. Nobody teaches us that unless you go study psychology of your own volition or study neuroscience. Your nervous system has its own agenda. It doesn't care about your goals. It cares about your safety and it cares about now. Your body is constantly asking one question: is this safe, predictable, and worth the energy right now? How important the goal is to your future, how important it is to you. If you gave promises towards it, no matter how many people you told, none of that matters. Conscious thought does not get a say in that assessment because this all happens before conscious thought even happens. Your nervous system made the assessment. So here's the part, to give you an example, that messed with my identity a bit. I teach this stuff. I teach people how to unlock true freedom. I teach people how to unlock their full potential, all of the latent stuff that our body likes to hide from us, not because it's evil, but because it wants us to be safe. I teach this stuff. People trust me to unlock their freedom, to guide them to unlock their full power. People give me that trust, and my body resists. Not because I'm lazy, not because I'm broken, but because directing attention feels dangerous before it feels free. And I didn't know that. So I had so many moments. This is why I tell you this, if you're listening, because I had so many moments where I'm passionate about this work. So what's the problem? I've told the world and then some that this is what I want to do for years. Stuff like this podcast episode. Since 2016, I've had ideas of doing videos, of sharing things that I've learned from me that made a difference for me with other people. Now it's become a podcast, but since that far back, and ultimately I never did it until recently. And I'm sitting here, I have a commitment to make a difference in people's lives, to get this work out there. This makes the difference for me financially, whether I do or don't. And I'm sitting here feeling stuck because I can't find the focus. I can't give it attention when I want to give it attention, but I have the drive, I have the passion. So what's wrong? Am I lazy? Maybe I'm just broken. I have ADHD. Maybe it just doesn't work. And I've done a bunch of research on ADHD. I'm very well aware of how ADHD brains function by this point, and I'm still here with no answer for why body won't do the thing. And then I discovered because directing attention feels dangerous before it feels free. And that's not something that I was consciously aware of until I read a bunch, until I learned I don't know how many things, how many chapters, how many pages I've read in the neuroscience field to make this discovery. But now I know. And this isn't something that you would ever consciously be aware of, even when it happens, because this all happens before conscious thought even occurs. Most people think freedom comes from feeling ready. I certainly did. Like I said earlier, I thought I would know I was free because I would feel free. I thought that was the whole point. I thought that was the dream, so to speak, right? Like, oh my God, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. Yes. But freedom actually comes from acting before the feeling shows up. No different than how strength works. You take the action before you have the courage to do it. The action leads. And that's because feelings don't create freedom. This drove me nuts. I argued with people about this actually. I had legit challenged psychologists on this. Even when, full disclosure, I was in therapy at a point, and if my therapist ever listens to this, I hope that he finds this funny. He told me something like this, and I directly challenged him. And I don't remember if I said these words, but the emotion I had behind it was bullshit. I have ADHD. That's not how this works. I need to have the emotion to do the thing. I need to love what I do, or I can't do the thing. It has to be interesting. I have to want to do it, or I can't do it. And I've had a coach. I've had a coach of my own who has dealt with that specific conversation. And when he hears this, I hope that he finds it funny. But he's dealt with that specific conversation a lot, because that was how I lived my life. That was a part of my identity. I have to love what I do. I have to want to do it to be able to do it. That is a way of operating, but it doesn't give much freedom. And I'm not telling anyone this to tell you you're wrong if you're this way. I'm telling you from my experience, I was not free thinking I have to want to do this before I can do it. That's how I felt trapped. Feelings don't create freedom. Actions create freedom. And it's not even heroic actions. I love heroic actions. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it 100%. I'm going to do it 110%. I'm going to make it perfect and amazing. This is where perfectionism becomes a really effective containment strategy. And your nervous system will learn that, and it will use that sucker against you. It will. Mine did. It's not the heroic actions. It's the tiny, the boring, the safe actions. Actions lead emotions. Just like if you want to be brave, it's doing the action before the bravery is there, before the confidence is there. If you want to be strong, you do it before it's easy. It's the same thing. Actions lead emotions. And it's almost paradoxical to think that, for me anyway, I'll give you an example. Navy SEALs, actually, really, any of the elite operators around the world, They don't become elite because they have the emotion present beforehand. They get really good at taking the action when the emotion's not there. I'm going to reference them again in a minute. There's a reason this stuff works. Your nervous system doesn't update from motivation, it updates from evidence. Every small action tells your body, hey, we survived that. So when you take those small, safe, boring actions, you build a data set of evidence your nervous system can refer to. And I thought this was the stupidest thing. So I'm about to give you a challenge, and I swear it works. If you've never tried it, just trust me. If you think it's stupid, me too, but trust me, it works. It will change how you operate. For the next 24 hours, I offer you one simple challenge. Don't ask yourself, do I feel like it? Am I ready? Instead, ask, what's an immediate action I can take in less than 60 seconds towards that goal? I'll give you some examples. Open the document, don't write. Send one message, not 10. Stand up, don't work out. One small, simple action you can take in less than 60 seconds towards the goal. If you want to up this, set a timer for 60 seconds. Go take the action within the timer. And whenever the timer ends, wherever you are with the action, that's where you stop. Your time is done. You honored your commitment. Watch what it does to your body. Watch what it does to your nervous system. Watch how your brain starts to catch it and starts to want to progress it to the next thing. Do this a few times. One action, 60 seconds, complete it. What's the next action? 60 seconds or less, complete it. Do this just a few times and watch how your physiology changes. Those elite operators that I referenced. Actually, before I get to that, that's coming. Hang on. If you've ever wondered why you know what to do, but you can't seem to do it, you're not broken. Your nervous system just hasn't learned that focus is safe yet. Freedom isn't the absence of resistance, it's learning how to move with it. That's what these elite operators get really good at. They don't become inhuman and just don't have fear. They don't just stop being nervous. They don't just become perfect in that sense. It's not the absence of fear. It's learning how to move with it. It's not the absence of nervousness or anxiety. It's learning how to move with it. And when you get really good at that, you develop mastery. You develop competency. You become free to move in any direction you choose to move, and not only the directions that your nervous system allows you to move. True to the title of the episode, you become free to give your attention to what you say to give your attention to, and not what your nervous system permits you to give your attention to. And that is how freedom and attention work together. And I did not know that until I was 33 years old. I was today years old when I learned this. So I hope that saves you some frustration. I hope that saves you some years of being stuck and suffering. I hope it makes the difference for you in your life. It's certainly made a huge difference to me in my life. And if it does make a difference for you, I would love to know. Leave a comment, leave a like tell me directly if you're able to do that. Send me a message on Instagram if you see one of the highlights and it's like, oh, that made a difference for me. Tell me, because that does a lot for me, because that's my mission, to make a difference with everything that I learn so other people don't have to be stuck or struggle or suffer like I did.